The roads around Raglan have been a rally playground for over 30 years, hosting both the WRC and New Zealand Rally Championship.
I love these roads. Doing Ricky today, I mean, they're just so magic. You just want to go fast on them.
And while the northern Te Akau stages offer smooth, undulating gravel goodness, it's the Whaanga Coast which defies this area's rally royalty.
Whaanga Coast starts off fast and smooth and you think, oh right, we're into this here, this is pretty cool. And then it gets tighter, and then you go into the trees and it gets a little bit tighter, and then you start sweating and you're ready for the end of the stage, and then there's another 5Ks to go and it keeps on getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Yeah, she's a hell of a stage, really enjoy it.
With Hayden Paddon claiming the New Zealand title at round 5, 4 drivers remain in contention to claim the runner-up spot.
Yeah, it's nice to still be in the fight for second, even though it's a wee bit further away with Ben's good year. So we're still happy to be here and still in the fight.
Yeah, a lot of the year we've been second to Hayden, and obviously the Canterbury rounds probably put a bit of a halt on the championship, but you know, we're still in second.
But Paddon can still claim the manufacturer title for Hyundai here.
Definitely the main priority this weekend is to try and win a manufacturer's championship for Hyundai. Obviously trailing at the moment, so it all comes down to basically who wins this rally wins that championship.
With 2 loops of the Te Akau stages in the morning, then 2 loops of the Te Hurawai Whaanga Coast in the afternoon, the drivers will experience 172 kilometres of the finest rally roads around. So can Paddon and Hyundai take a clean sweep on this, the final round of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. It's the Hyundai New Zealand Raglan Rally of the Coast. The penultimate round of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship was held on the scenic Coromandel Peninsula, just a couple of hours' drive from Auckland City. Hayden Paddon set the early pace in the Hyundai, chasing his championship title. Brendan Reeves was in the running in the Mazda AP4, but an engine cut out on stage 1 put him off the pace. Stage 1 proved hard on brakes. Emma Gilmore first to suffer brake loss at the halfway point.
Sorry, the brakes are gone.
Followed closely by Richie Dalton, who lost all brakes on the last corner.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Stage 3 and Paddon was in trouble with the turbo hose coming off. Reeves charged ahead to take the lead.
Switch, 3- right in medium.
Paddon fought back on 4 to retake the lead, and Reeves suffered more engine issues and dropped back.
Long right narrows. Sorry? Not long. Okay.
But on special stage 6, Paddon had a repeat of his turbo issue, and Ben Hunt closed to within 20 seconds. Meanwhile, in the 2-wheel drive race, Robbie Stokes pushed Dylan Thompson all the way. But in the end, Thompson did enough to secure his second New Zealand 2-wheel drive and junior championship, while Wayne Pittams finished to take the open 2-wheel drive prize. And despite a few scares along the way, Hayden Paddon finishing to win the rally and take the 2018 New Zealand Rally title. Now, the cars and drivers filled the main street of Raglan on Friday night. WRC star Hayden Paddon's AP4 Hyundai may be the top attraction, but there was a welcome addition of 3 R5 rally cars in the field. The Skodas of Horrod and Jones and former champ Neil Allport giving his Fiesta R5 a shakedown. Also making its first appearance on an NZRC rally, this historic Audi Quattro S1 of Jeff James. And for Nathan Quinn, his 5th round and another different car.
So we're running Ben Hunt's second car, apparently known as the White Pointer, which is more than appropriate with teeth like mine.
Fantastic wee car actually. It's Tony and I drove it at Rally of the Far North a couple of weekends ago and had an absolute ball in it.
I've never driven a Subaru before. Should be pretty interesting. I believe it's basically Group N, so people have asked me what the car goes like, particularly my mum.
Yeah, I think he'll love the latter part of Whaanga Coast in that car, just the size of it and how it handles, and yeah, hopefully has a good run in it.
Raglan Rally of the Coast. It's beautiful. I mean, the weather's not so good down here at the moment, but it's an awesome rally. It's beautiful scenery. It really showcases our country. And look, the roads, you forget how nicely cambered they are and how fast they are and how treacherous they can be as well. And yeah, so it's great fun though.
Stage 1, Coldie Flat, uses most of the old Te Akau South WRC stage. Now Hayden Paddon will start first on the road, but there's a late change in the co-driver seat. With all the details, rally journalist Dave Hedge.
Yeah, Clint, a late change on Friday. Malcolm Reid getting a trial here after competing in the New Zealand Champs, the Australian Champs and the Asia Pacific Champs this year. Hayden looking for a New Zealand co-driver, I think, to carry on his future.
So Malcolm's obviously getting busier now. He's famous, he's a celeb, you know, he's off with a few bigger drivers than me, faster drivers than me.
Yeah, so a bit of a last minute change to get Malcolm Reid into the car, and we've done a straight swap with our good friend Dylan Turner, who's he's got John in the car.
I twisted Hayden's arm and he's let me borrow him because JK wants to do a few more rallies next year. Obviously not at the WRC level, so that's helped us out a bit. It'll be nice to see a bit of experience come into the car. Not that I'm saying Malcolm's not experienced, but JK's obviously been with some of the best drivers in the world, including Hayden, and I think it'll be good for Malcolm too, you know, just to hopefully edge his career to that next stage.
Well, everyone pretty tight-lipped here, Brownie, but I'd say watch this space.
Good to see a Kiwi combo back in action again. Meantime for Paddon, his mission is to add the New Zealand Rally win, add to that and secure the manufacturer title here for Hyundai. Let's see what he can do now, setting the stage time this morning.
Early Max 6 right plus opens, finish 60, half 6 left minus 30.
Coming down to the finish, and it's going to be 12 minutes 09.7. Ben Hunt running number 2 on the road and with the best chance of scoring runner-up in the championship. And if he wins here, he can give Subaru New Zealand the manufacturer team title.
And of course, because Hayden Paddon's had 2 different co-drivers this year, Tony Ralston is leading the co-driver's title. So a good chance here for him to earn his second Gold Star title.
Fantastic shots, and as you can see, the stage is in perfect condition. Slightly damp, so there's no dust to contend with, and that's good news for tyre wear.
Going to try and run mediums, but try and run on a bigger tyre, so that's the plan. You know, sometimes it's a compromise between a hard and a medium with terms of maybe tearing blocks off or actually wearing the tyre right down. So I think there was a case of last year in Whaanga Coast we, you know, maybe put a too harder tyre on for the conditions and actually tore the blocks off instead of wearing a tyre down.
So looking at his time, Hunty's well down on Paddon, 12 minutes 54.9, 45 seconds slower. And running third, Matt and Nicole Summerfield. One of the 4 driver pairing still in with a chance of taking that runner-up spot.
It's been great to see Matt in a modern car this year. He showed tremendous pace in his old Subaru, but it was a very old car. This Mirage has allowed him to showcase what is his true driving talent.
Stage time 13 seconds slower than Hunt, so it's looking like Paddon has put up an outstanding time. Josh Marsden has had a breakthrough season this year with both reliability and speed, and that's why he's also in with a chance to be runner-up.
Yeah, just that win in Canterbury really gave him some confidence. And I think the car now is a lot better sorted than it was last year. Also, having Andrew Graves in the seat next to him, I think, has really benefited.
Marsden another 7 seconds back from Hunt. Emma Gilmore, another top 3 contender.
The harder tyres generally take longer to get the warmth in them, so you haven't got that ultimate performance, you know, from the first corner. The theory is that they should last longer though, so at the end of that second stage you've still got some good tyre left, so you've still got a bit of grip. You know, it is a real trade-off, because also if you haven't got much, like that's the trouble I had last year. I tried a hard tyre and the car spun on the first gravel corner because it just had no grip. So that's not really confidence inspiring, and you know, it's a trade-off. I think the one thing this year is that the temperatures are a bit cooler than what we had last year, so that's going to help the tyre wear.
And already plenty of talk about tyres, tyre wear and tyre choice. Flat in 6th gear through that stage there, so a good time, just 4.7 behind Hunt. Right, the final driver in the top 3 championship challenge is the Aussie champ Nathan Quinn.
Oh, he missed 3rd gear there. Sounds like the engine's over-revved. And it's not looking good. I wonder if he's damaged the engine somehow.
Unfortunately, Quinn sounds like he's heading for an early retirement. Doesn't sound good at all. So that's it for the white pointer. Coming up, Paddon service crew under pressure, and who will step up in the top 3 on the Raglan Rally of the Coast. Welcome back. Stage 2 is Matera. It's a shortened version of the famous WRC Te Akau North Stage.
You know, Clint, when you talk of WRC New Zealand rally stages, there are the iconic stages like Whaanga Coast and Motu. But then there are the stages that are just fantastic to drive on. The best gravel stages in the world, they call them, and this is one of those stages.
Long over crest 10, fast half, 4 left plus. Right 120, small crest 120, half 4 right.
Listen to the speed that Malcolm Reid is
80.
firing those pace notes at Hayden Paddon.
Looks like a bit easy, something wrong with the car.
Down half 4 right line, 10 long, fast 3
Does
left
that sound like a bit of
minus,
early
short
drama
minus,
unfolding on
double,
stage 2?
60,
Hayden's worried about something.
flat 6 left plus,
I'm not sure he didn't just miss time of gear change there. These sequential boxes can balk between gears at times.
Wide finish.
Great
Right,
opening
80.
time for the opening stage. What about
Flat
stage
seven
2?
Yeah, I think we're on that little jump on the first stage.
Hayden, we know you like the fast stages, and this one's flat out. How did that go?
It's a nice stage. It's been many years since we've done Te Akau North, so it was always one of the favourites. A lot faster than what I remember it, but it's taking a little bit easy through there. Just a little niggly thing with the car, so we just want to get back to service and make sure it's no major problem.
And you've had a few different co-drivers this year, and we see another face.
I'm playing musical chairs, you see, so just keep it interesting. But no, we're throwing Malcolm in the deep end. Obviously, John's with Dylan a couple cars behind, so yeah, it's a big challenge for both of them.
Well, could Ben Hunt now close the gap? Remember, this is the battle for the New Zealand manufacturers' teams title. Subaru have won this many times before. Can they keep Hyundai from taking their first?
Well, I think it'll be more a case of they could do it if something goes wrong for Hayden. But I think right now Ben will be happy to stay in the lead of the top 3 challenges and just be thinking about that Gold Star award for his co-driver.
His stage time, 32.7 slower than Paddon.
Well, Ben, these stages have always been hard on tyres. Did you front to rear them before this one?
Yeah, you know, we had quite a bit of time in between stage 1 and 2, so, you know, to get the most out of the Dunlops, we front to rear them and put our best foot forward for this stage. And, you know, fantastic being back on these ones. You know, it's been probably 5 or 6 years since I was back on them in a Fiesta, so, you know, the speed difference is quite a bit.
And the aim for the day is to get that second in the championship. How's the car going?
Yeah, no, the car's running good, and, you know, we just want to do our own thing. We're not looking at times and, you know, just having fun as we have done all year.
Emma Gilmore holding on to 3rd position through the stage, just 12 seconds down on Ben Hunt.
Well, she's one of the drivers who would have had experience on this stage. It's just such a fantastic road. I think Emma's really showing the right setup on these stages. She's carrying really good speed through the corners, and that's the key to getting good stage times here.
Dylan Turner, 4th fastest through stage 1, and again on stage 2 to be sitting just 5.1 seconds behind Gilmore.
I think we will expect to see better speed out of Dylan too. I'm sure there'll be some adjustment going on here as Jean Kennard and Dylan work together.
Rana Horan debuted his Skoda R5 at Coromandel. Now with some kilometres under his belt, he was 5th on stage 1 and moved up to 4th on stage 2.
Well, we first saw Rana on these stages in an Evo 9 last year and then earlier this year. This R5 is something quite different again, and he really hasn't taken too long to get to grips with it.
Matt Summerfield dropping to 6th on this stage. He's 5 seconds behind Horan. And Phil Campbell, 4.4 seconds back in 7th in the AP4 Fiesta.
Here's short 6 right into 3 laps.
Phil had a great rally at Rally of North just a couple of weeks ago, finishing 2nd to Andrew Hawkswood. So it's all about experience in the car, and I think you'll see more and more speed coming out of this car in this combination.
An interesting battle amongst the two Holden Barinas. Josh Marsden 8th on stage 1, but losing that place to Greg Murphy on stage 2. This will be Murph's final NZRC rally for a while as he concentrates on family time and the V8 supercars. So after 2 stages, Paddon impressive with 1 minute 18 lead over Hunt, Gilmore and Horan, but Paddon's team with work to do while the others can take stock of their position.
Well, Emma, great stage times in stage 1 and 2. I know you said you had a problem, but maybe you should turn the anti-lag off more.
Yeah, it makes me keep the foot to the floor, I guess. But yeah, it was a bit disjointed to start with. We didn't know what was going on with the anti-lag, so just turned it off. And yeah, car's feeling really good. We made a few tweaks before this event, and it's always a bit strange when you haven't done a shakedown or a practice. But no, really enjoying it.
Well, Dylan, your car's rated as the favourite car for all of the NZRC in a bit of an online poll. So how's it going out there in the stages?
Yeah, cool, man. Having so much fun, and it's good to see. I mean, I love the look of it, but it's good to see that everyone else loves the look of the Audi. It's their classic, beautiful grille, and I think the pedigree of Audi in rallying is really coming through.
Dylan Thompson had taken out the 2-wheel drive championship with a round to go, but he had to work hard over the morning stages to keep in touch with Robbie Stokes and Jack Hawkswood. Stokes was the early leader in stage 1, but on the 2nd stage, Hawkswood in the AP2 Mazda took the lead by 5.6 seconds to Stokes, with Thompson 17 seconds back. Mike Sheard in the other R2 Fiesta just 5 seconds back in 4th. At the end of the morning loop, Hawkswood still had the lead, but Thompson had taken 2nd and closed to within 1 second. Stokes and Sheehan battling for 3rd. Stage 3 and 4 repeated the morning loop, and with 65 cars having swept the roads, Hayden Paddon will be looking to lower his stage times even further.
Well, Clint, these roads have a very, very firm base. It's why they can be so hard on tyres, but luckily in these conditions, with a little moisture, this is perfect for these modern rally cars.
And the sound of that snap, crackle and pop echoing around the Raglan coastline, sensational. Stage 3, Paddon lowers his time by 13 seconds, and then on stage 4 another 15 seconds faster.
It's interesting, there's a bit of dust coming as the stages are drying out.
Now this will be Ben Hunt. He's looking to firm up his 2nd place here. Looking ahead to those afternoon stages.
You can see there's definitely a line here where the cars have gone through and swept the stage. So if you can stay in that line, that's where the grip will be. But there's also a lot of loose gravel on the insides of the corners, and that's just something to watch for punches.
Yes, he's got that cool looking car, Dylan Turner, making a move on stage 3, taking 3rd place. But unfortunately that was short-lived as the engine overheated on stage 4 and he was forced to retire. Next away, Matt and Nicole Summerfield, 3rd fastest on stage 3, and they would move up to 4th.
Now remember, this is a proto car, slightly different to the AP4 cars because it's based on an Evo 10 suspension platform. Not quite as much suspension travel maybe as the cars like Hayden's, but still a very nimble car through these stages.
But a stray rock on stage 4 would force them to stop and change a tyre on stage, costing over 5 minutes.
I think as the road's sweeping off, as I said before, the rocks are appearing here, see on the inside of the corners, and that's what you've got to watch out for.
Looks like Phil Campbell could be in trouble here on stage 3 as well.
we're going to change.
Yeah, this stage is 22 kilometres long, and really they have no choice but to stop. You risk damaging the diffs or the bodywork on the car, and that can rip oil lines and lead to something really serious. So they're doing the right thing here, but they're going to lose at least 3 minutes in a rally like this. That's really catastrophic for your results.
Left-hand side.
Josh Marsden 5th fastest on stage 3, then 4th fastest on stage 4.
Well, what we found last year is that the MRF tyre was a little easier to manage on these stages. It's just the nature of the compound of the rubber that they use.
Fortunately for Emma Gilmore, her early pace came to a halt on stage 3. She was forced to pull over mid-stage to check what appeared to be a puncture, talking of tyre wear, but turned out to be a drive shaft issue. Rana Horan passing her in the stage as she limped back to refuel.
This will be frustrating for Emma because she had such a good pace over the first 2 stages. She'll be desperate to get back to the refuel, see if her team can work out what's wrong with the car.
Emma, you're a little bit late getting here to refuel, and it doesn't look like all's well.
No, we were having a great run in that stage, and initially thought we had a flat tyre. We picked the perfect space to change a flat tyre, but no, all the tyres were good, so a broken drive shaft, so got out of the stage, but now we'll just decide what we do next, because it looks like we're losing a bit of gearbox oil.
And she would regroup to Raglan to repair the car, while Horan moved up to 3rd place. He'd be stoked in that Skoda. This may be Greg Murphy's final NZRC rally, but he was saving the best until last, moving up 2 places on stage 3 and then 3rd fastest on stage 4 to move up to 4th overall. Go Murph!
You know, he hasn't had that much stage time this year. A few niggling problems with the car, but something has really clicked here. Although, that might have been a little bit lucky.
Jack Williamson lives on a farm 20 minutes out of Raglan, and he was liking these local roads. 9th fastest after stage 3, and then 6th on stage 4, following the drama with the drivers ahead of him.
Well, it's fine being a local driver, but of course, you've got to put that knowledge and your confidence in the car all together to put on a good stage.
So it's Hayden Paddon now with 2 minutes 17 lead ahead of Hunt, who was clear of Horan in 3rd, but Murphy and Marsden putting the pressure on in 4th and 5th. But worried looks at Paddon Rally Sport. There's something still wrong with that gearbox.
We're having to work for it today, so a few more technical problems. We're able to get on top of the ones from the first loop, but it seems like something in the driveline now. So we'll change some things. There's some parts we can change, some that we can't. So we'll change what we can, and fingers crossed that it finds a problem.
Last year at this event, you got pretty good at changing tyres. Unfortunately, it looks like you've had to do the same today.
Yeah, exactly. In the last stage 4, we got a puncture sort of halfway through, and I made the call at the time to carry on, but hindsight, had to stop anyway, and was doing some damage to the rear of the car, so had to change it. So paid a big penalty, but that's the way it is.
You're in 5th overall, and a podium is just there.
It's a battle. It's a battle in my own brain, Inky. It's what it is. It's me just trying to bloody make sure I bloody get to the finish. So it was really good. You know, the first, this morning I just needed to try and bloody get back in the groove, and then second time through, I knew towards the end of stage 2 that I knew that the car was really good and it had heaps of grip, and so that time through that group, those 2 stages, I just knew I had to push a bit harder and release the brake a bit earlier.
Josh, bit of a battle between the 2 Barinas today.
Yeah, it's good to see that car finally getting some good reliability out of it. So it's excellent to see the Barinas going well.
Stick around, coming up is the battle of the young guns in 2-wheel drive, while the historics are in a spin on the Hyundai Raglan Rally of the Coast. Welcome back to the final round of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. Based in the seaside town of Raglan, well known for its famous surf breaks, the town has long been a home to surf shops and surf schools, but there's also a strong artisan community here, based in the old town wharf. Pottery, ceramics, the famous Soul Shoe Company, and something a little bit different. It's all what keeps people coming back to Raglan. Time now for the afternoon stage loop, starting with the famous stage to Hyundai, 11.18 kilometres.
Well, this is the stage that caused so many issues in 2017 with excessive tyre wear, even though it's just under 12 kilometres long. But crucially, we're a month earlier and there was rain yesterday, so the baseline temperature of the road will be cooler.
Now, Patton's old stage record was 7 minutes 53.5. This year, 7:58.8.
So Hayden, clean run mechanically?
We're holding it, crossing our fingers. It's certainly not right, so it's rattling and banging, so a little bit of luck is needed now.
Now, it's clear that Ben Hunt can't beat Hayden Patton at the current pace, but Ben now has to protect his co-driver's championship lead.
Yeah, remember, Ben stays second, he'll be runner-up, but Tony Ralston will be co-driver champion. Looking at these shots, Ben's using all the road here. I suspect there's not a lot of grip in the road, and that could be due to running medium or hard tyres, and they're just not getting the grip through.
Hard for the drivers, but great for the spectators and viewers. This stage is spectacular. Stage time then, 8 minutes 19.9, a bit off the pace.
What was that? 8 minutes 20.
And those tyres look pretty done.
They were second hand to start with. I wasn't really worried about what we lose there. We just wanted to get through that one and get into this one.
Rana Horan 3.5 seconds faster than Hunt, but still 54 seconds back in third. Greg Murphy in fourth.
Oh, and look at that apex, Brownie. You don't often get to see rallying from the air like that. It's a perfect example of taking the right line through a corner. Good on you, Murph.
And a great shot from the drone. Now Marsden just fifth, 8.3 seconds behind Murph. And Phil Campbell on the comeback after his puncture, third fastest on this stage.
Well, Phil lost over 5 minutes changing that puncture, and the battle's so close up the front that it's dropped him way down the field. So he's got a lot of work to do if he's to get back in the top 5 today.
6 right, time to 5, 100. Half long 4 right plus, and 2 long 4 left plus.
But Ben Hunt, he's in hot water here between stages, using his mechanical knowledge, one of the many driver mechanics like Raglan local Jack Williamson.
I know I live right around the corner from the Watatuna Valley, but I never got to see the WRC cars coming through the stages.
Look at that spectacular shot from the chopper and right up close, Possumborn working hard behind the wheel.
It was pretty cool when the rally comes out here, so I get a chance to drive on them myself. Well, so I got interested in rallying when I was about maybe 18. So I've got a pretty cool workshop out here on the farm. I like driving, obviously, and I like engineering on cars as well. Our first proper rally car was our Suzuki, which just started off fairly plain, and then over the course of about 3 years it started getting more and more naughty, but it had some pretty cool stuff in it. So I met Hayden at that, he had the shootout a few years ago, and then we ended up just becoming friends. I just ended up working on his car more and more as time's gone on. Ending up in the WRC team would be pretty cool, but I think we've got pretty cool stuff here as well. If I want to carry on driving, I can't really go overseas at the moment. I mean, I really like driving, so it's pretty important to me to keep doing that. We've just been working over the whole season to just work the car further towards how I feel like I want it to go, and it's starting to get there now as far as being smooth and drivey, not too tail happy and things like that. So yeah, pretty happy now to push on in it, and I think going forward it'll just get faster really from here for us.
So watch out for the famous Jack Williamson from Waitatuna. Talking of famous Whaanga Coast, fast, undulating, tight, twisty, 29.77 kilometres. The fans have turned up in force, ready to see some good old-fashioned Kiwi action.
Could this be our equivalent of the Nürburgring Nordschleife? The green hell. It's got everything you would want in a rally stage, and they're similar in length. Of course, the difference is the stage record is a little slower, 20 minutes 32, set by Marcus Gronholm way back in 2007.
Yeah, I guess the spectator junction there, I think maybe 8 or 9k into the stage is almost like the start of the actual true Whaanga Coast, where you then drop down to the valley floor and go out to the coast. So yeah, the 90 left, it's flat out, big long straight, you tap down in 6th gear. There's a slight left that you're taking flat just before, and then you've got 100 metres after it to be hard on the anchors and tip her in for the left, and then you start dropping down and it starts getting a lot more twisty and technical for the rest of the stage.
How's that for a memory? And here's Malcolm Reid, firing out those pace notes at the stage, heads down towards that coast.
The road runs along the cliff tops of the west coast, but here at the Titoto Gorge Reserve is where the stage tightens. This is where the hard work really begins.
Let's see what that stage time's going to be. 22 minutes, 16.7. What's Hayden's reaction?
Tyre wear not such an issue through Whaanga Coast this year?
It certainly didn't feel like it. We took quite a bit out of tyres on the first one, and here it felt for the last 8 k's like we had full tyres on it, so I'm not sure why that was. So yeah, it was a challenging stage like always.
Hopefully the Subaru of Ben Hunt has cooled down as he entertains the fans. But over a minute slower than Paddon. Josh Marsden taking the lead in the Holden battle as Greg Murphy stopped in the stage for 12 minutes.
Josh, last year Whaanga Coast tyre wear was a huge issue. Seems all right this year.
Yeah, the MRFs are holding up really well here. We're sort of just got to hold position and get to the finish to try and secure our position in the championship. So just trying to keep a good smooth run and look after them as much as possible and avoid all the big rocks.
Rana Horan would put up the 3rd fastest time on this power stage, and with Hunt slow, he closes the gap to 2nd to just 9.2 seconds. Emma Gilmore had repaired her car and rejoined the rally. She was 2nd fastest on the stage, hoping to pick up some power stage points here on stage 6.
Well, Emma's only scored 4 power stage points over the whole season. But looking at this time, I think this is going to be a good time.
2 left long.
23.15.8, that's good enough for 4 power stage points. Matt Summerfield running out of the stages to make up for time lost on stage 3, so power stage points crucial for him too. He earns 2 for being the 4th fastest. But no power stage points for Jack Williamson, but the local driver is now 5th in the NZRC. Paddon looks set for another win, but Horan now so close to his first podium in the Skoda R5.
Yeah, I'm trying not to put the pressure on myself, that's why I'm hiding in here.
It's great to see the Skoda R5 out there on the stages, going well. You seem to be really getting the hang of it now.
Yeah, it's my 3rd go in it, so I've finally got the hang of it, I think. It's good in the tight stuff. Even if you're not going fast, it seems to get around quick. So I seem to be going okay. Long may it last.
Malcolm, you have done a lot of co-driving, but never for someone at this level. How's the day going?
Oh, it's going real good. You know, as always, jumping in with someone new, it takes a little bit of time to gel. Probably one of the biggest advice I got this morning from John was for Hayden, there's no way you can't read it quick enough. So basically, spew those notes out, so to speak. And he said you'll be amazed that he can input it. And just channeling my inner John, I've watched enough in-car of Hayden over the years, so little parts are popping in my head mid-stage, and it's just machine gun fire pace notes.
Now, the final of the Gull Rally Challenge would see a title showdown between Grant Blackberry and Jeff Argyle, with just 8 points between them. Blackberry with a technical advantage, having a newer Evo 10. But Argyle, the former NZ champ in his Evo 8, having stage knowledge on his side. Blackberry took the early lead on the opening stages, but Argyle closed the gap by stage 4. The gap had narrowed to 17 seconds after the Whaanga Coast, with Argyle setting a time 6th fastest overall. On the next loop though, through the stages, Argyle was an astonishing 3rd fastest on the Whaanga Coast to take the class win. 9.2 seconds, the gap to Blackberry. But it's Blackberry who takes the Gull Rally Challenge title overall. In the 2-wheel drive class, Marcus van Klink would battle Bruce Herbert through the day. Herbert was fast from the start, the former New Zealand Rally champ really enjoying the roads that he'd won multiple times on in the past. Anthony Jones was in second early on, but Van Klink took that position on stage 2 and held on through the day. Jones made it back to second on the final stage. Herbert, though, was unstoppable, taking the 1st place in class, but Van Klink's 3rd, enough to easily take the class title for 2018. Coming up, will Hyundai claim a first historic title, and who will claim the title of Gold Star co-driver? The 2018 New Zealand Rally Historic Trophy had come down to a battle between the Escort RS 1800 of Kaikoura's Regan Ross and the Group B RX-7 of Canterbury driver John Silcock. Ross got the party started with a spin on the first corner of the opening stage. Our Hella rally moment for sure. After that though, all he could do was push on, stay ahead of the Mazda and hope that Silcock would make a mistake. But Silcock was steady through the morning, even if his nerves were starting to show with service.
Oh, it's a terrible situation. I'd rather go out there and just have some fun, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like lots of fun today. A little bit of pressure on, to be fair.
The final loop of stages saw Silcock close the gap to 40 seconds, but second was good enough and he won his first New Zealand Rally title.
Oh, absolutely stoked, yep. And yeah, to probably be up against one of the fastest 2-wheel drive guys in the country, hey, that's great, yeah.
Dylan Thompson took the lead in the New Zealand 2-wheel drive class when Robbie Stokes slowed on stage 5. With Hawkswood and Sheehan fighting for second. In the 2-wheel drive championship, it was Dave Taylor in the Honda Civic in 4th, who looked certain to take the place after Amy Keeley retired. Thompson in the end an easy win, but on the final stage Jack Hawkswood dropping 7 minutes, leaving Mike Sheehan second in Class 2 ahead of Dave Taylor. The sun's been baking the Raglan stages this afternoon, so what does that mean on the Te Hurawai stage? We've already seen some sensational action on the stage. Will the gaps get even closer and the action faster?
There was quite a bit of gravel on the stages this morning, but you can see there that swept line is where Hayden will be aiming.
Great to see the neighbours out to cheer on the WRC star at home. Local support from the Raglan area is second to none for the drivers. Just love putting on a show for them as well.
High right, tightens very quick 5, narrow 100.
Paddon just 2.8 seconds faster on the second run. Ben Hunt picked up a 30-second penalty, and that has put him at risk of losing second place. But his position in the championship is safe, providing that he can get the Subaru to the finish of the rally.
Well, Ben's a diesel mechanic, admittedly, but he's always had a great affinity with his cars, so rest assured he'll get this car home, no doubt.
Yes, he's a bit like the rally mailman, he always delivers. His time just 6.5 seconds slower than Paddon. So can Rana Horan respond on just his third rally in the Skoda R5?
And you know, could this be any more different than the Class 1 off-roader that he's campaigned across Australasia? It's just great to see a driver come into the championship and in just 1 year be challenging the pace of a former champion.
Horan just 10 seconds slower than Hunt, but that's the breather that Hunt needs. Josh Marsden holding on to fourth place. If he stays in this position, this will reward him with third in the New Zealand Drivers' Championship and second for his co-driver, Andrew Graves.
Interesting, quite a bit of dust coming off the cars now. You can see it in the drone here, but it just doesn't seem to be hanging around. There's enough of a breeze to not make it a problem for the following cars.
Now remember that Jack Williamson, the local driver, is Hayden Paddon's teammate in that team's trophy. Their team name is the Tortoise and the Hare. Well, Jack has been putting up some very untortoise-like times so far on his home rally.
What a dream result here for Jack, for his mum Brenda, who's his co-driver, and for his dad Stephen, who helps run the car.
So this is at the final stage of the 2018 rally. A win for Paddon will be a title for Hyundai, and Ben Hunt just needs to finish to see his co-driver awarded the Gold Star Championship for 2018.
Probably the biggest thing about this season is that Tony and I have had a big smile on our face the whole time, and really loving the car and probably making gains at most rallies. So
it's easier this time. Like the first time round, we had the pressure on. We really we've got to finish, we've got to get this stages done. But this year the goal's been different, and having a wee bit of a points buffer, it's worked out quite nice.
It had been such a close battle over the day, but those punches for Phil Campbell and Matt Summerfield on the early stages had put them both out of contention for the day. In the end, Phil Campbell finished 7th.
But some good stage times over the day. I think Phil will be pretty happy with his performance.
Matt Summerfield 6th, just 20 seconds behind Williamson in the end, but that was enough to put Nicole Summerfield 3rd in the co-drivers Gold Star Championship, so well done.
Well, Nicole puts a huge amount of work into this team, and it's just a great reward for her to be 3rd in the championship again.
And a great day for Jack Williamson, the local man. His first top 5 finisher, though he did survive a blind head gasket on the way to the finish after the stage, so a little local luck along the way. Josh Marsden 4th, but enough to secure his 3rd place in the championship. Co-driver Andrew Graves would be runner-up. In the end, Rana Horan would have to settle for 3rd place despite pushing hard through the stage. The gap to Hunt just 2.7 seconds, but that would earn him the Dunlop Driver of the Rally. But for Ben Hunt, 2nd place, and he gets that Gold Star title for his co-driver.
Tony, in a rally team, the co-driver plays such a monumental part, and here you are just wrapping up another Gold Star co-driving championship.
It's a real special feeling. Like, it is a good team effort, and unfortunately we had a bit of a mid-form slump, so we couldn't fight Hayden today. But we're sort of individualised it, and I've come away with the prize, so I'm pretty happy.
It's clear you guys really have been the best of the rest. Hayden, WRC driver, doing it as a full-time job. Ben still goes and maintains diesel trucks. You do it as a weekend warrior. bloody fabulous effort.
It is. It's a good feeling being the part-timer and just helping in the car 6 times a year and coming away with some goods. Yeah, it's great.
Well, he came to this rally assured of the driver's title, but this was all about winning the manufacturer's title for Hyundai New Zealand.
Half 4 left, 50 over finish. A long true left plus. We did 21.55.
Hayden, fabulous to wrap up the manufacturer's title for Hyundai at the Hyundai Rally at Raglan.
Yeah, it's been a tough day. Huge credit to the team again. We've obviously had a few little teething problems today, so it's if anything, it's a big relief just to get here. If there was one more stage, I think we'll be going no more because it completely gave up about 10 k's back. So sort of biting the nails right down the finish, but really enjoyable day.
These motorsport parts are very specialist, but it's often the motorsport parts that give you the problem, that the road car parts are always so reliable.
And it's trying to diagnose the problems as well, which is always difficult, but our guys they do a great job. We've been able to keep on top of it today. Could have been easy to park the car in the shed at some point, but we've kept on battling through. So this one's for them and obviously for Hyundai. They've put a lot into the sport for the last 3 years, so it's great to give them something back, and they've helped us get to where we are today, so huge credit to Hyundai.
So confirming those results for the rally, Paddon from Hunt and Horan, Marsden and Williamson. And congratulations to our 2 champions, Hayden Paddon for Hyundai as the driver and Tony Rawston for Subaru as the co-driver. Well, it's been a fantastic season in the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. We'll do it all again next year, but keep up to date at Rally Live NZ on Twitter, New Zealand Rally Championship on Facebook, and Rally Nation New Zealand on YouTube, where you can review all the stages from 2018 or just Google NZRC.